Seeing goblins, appreciating goblins, succubus with goblins.
And we don't want no problem. Okay, you're a goon. What's a goon?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the next episode of Podgoblins.
We're back. We're back.
Yeah, buddy.
We are back.
I hope you guys enjoyed the Hellraiser episode last week.
I'm wearing my Hellraiser shirt today. I'm a week late, but I got it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. I left mine in the fucking wash.
I'm on demon time right now. Not seeing demon.
That was a fun episode. We got like almost 600 views on it in the first week. People seemed pretty excited about it. They wanted it for a while. Got mostly good feedback. Nice pussy. And
okay.
That shit's purring. No, but
I'm unhinged.
Yeah, Nick's on something tonight, so this is gonna be an interesting episode. But for those of you who don't remember or might remember, I don't know, but our second episode we did was movies that you hate that we love, horror films that we thought were underrated.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing the sequel to that tonight, and we're going to be talking about overrated movies and movies you might love that we don't.
Yes.
So yeah, what do you think about that, Nick? You excited?
Oh, you know, I just
Uh-oh.
I just feel like
I'm about to bust.
I'm with you, brother.
I can't control it, and I don't want to control it. I don't want to control it. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited. I don't know why I'm in a good mood. Probably because I ate Chipotle, and
that put me in a good mood.
Yeah, I slept in today, and then Jaden sent me videos of him spread. And it was just like, it was good, man. Been a good day. I'm in a good mood. I'm ready to go. I'm raring to go. I'm fully bricked up. To everybody watching, hello, welcome. How are you? We're here. We're in the flesh, and we're about to get inside your flesh. Probably because some of these takes are probably gonna piss you guys off. You know what, Jaden? Yeah. He texted me earlier and he said, "Dude, I hate our viewers so much," and I was like, "Bro, you gotta chill." And he was like, "I hate them so much that I just want to piss them off." And I was like, "All right, man." Also, we got our first hate comment last week, so this is awesome. Like, we're really doing the thing, man. We're out here
buddy.
now.
Yes, sir. All right. So what do you think with this? Do you want to go back and forth? Like, you say one, state your case.
You start us off. This was your idea.
Right.
You said you have a list. You start us off.
I do got a list. All right. So I debated on how I wanted to start it, but I think I'm going to start with a classic horror film and work my way up. So this is probably going to make a lot of people angry, but the first on my list of overrated horror films is the original 1932 Dracula, the Universal Monster movie. Yeah, you eat Twizzlers, you sick bastard.
I eat cherry Twizzlers, the ones that you can peel, Okay.
Ugh, dude, Twizzlers are nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I don't know what you think, but the original Dracula is like probably my least favorite Universal Monster movie and the only one that I don't love. I don't find it that charming. I find it kind of slow and boring. And it's not because of the time, because there were still great movies coming out at that time. It's just that movie in particular. Like, I've heard the Spanish version is better or whatever, but I haven't seen that. The American original Universal Monster movie, though, I think it's kind of mid.
So I have never been a fan of this one. So it's not just you. Okay. And I know Mark, Saturn Video, he's watching right now and he's like, "Dude, you guys, you suck. I hate you both." My go-to is with Pleasance, 79, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never. No. Look, there's something about the old school black and white. It's just not my vibe, man. It's not my vibe. It's hard to get into. Now, it's not to say all of them because I love Frankenstein. I do. Always have. Always will. And just in case any of you guys don't know now, still in the year 2025, Frankenstein is not the monster's name, you dildos.
Shut the fuck up. Do you know what shut the fuck up mean?
Yeah.
Also, I just want to let you guys know, I got the background Silent Night, Deadly Night because Corey Cunningham, Rowan Campbell is going to be playing Billy in the new Silent Night, Deadly Night. We found out today. I'm so excited.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I'm not huge on this one, man. I'm really not.
All right, I'm glad you're with me. I'll say the one thing that I do like about this movie is a very specific shot when he's creeping towards the girl, like Bela Lugosi, and he's like just kind of like doing this while she's in bed. Like that's a cool shot. Other than that, though, it's boring, dude. But Nick, hit me with one.
So we're going with ones that are commonly revered that we find overrated.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I had the criteria right. Commonly revered, but I find this one's easy. This one's more recent.
Nope.
Jaden's not going to agree with me on it. It's what? No, actually, you know what? Fuck it. Talk to me. That movie exploded on the internet. You know, in the horror circles, everyone was like, "Oh, it's so good, it's so scary, dude. It's like the scariest movie in the last like 20 years, dude." And I was like, "Bro, it's just like any other possession movie." Like I don't know. With the advent of, "Oh, but it's a hand. You gotta touch the hand." I was like, "Awesome." And if that one's not spicy enough for you guys, I'll just double down. And I'm gonna say one. I know Jaden's not gonna agree with me on this one, but dude, Midsummer can suck my left nut, bro. It can literally suck my left nut. And it's funny because I found that like people usually are a Hereditary person or a Midsummer person. Yeah, I'm definitely a Hereditary person because Midsummer is friggin' boring. 3 hours of pretension. Okay.
So
some feedback.
You had me in the first half. I actually agree with Talk to Me. When I saw that in the theater with my girlfriend, we both came out of it like, because like everybody was talking it up. Like it was like the hot shit that summer. But I like the idea of it is cool. The actual movie I thought was very okay. I think I gave it like 3 stars or whatever. Midsummer, I don't agree, but I love folk horror.
You're allowed to be wrong.
All right, pal. Listen, I actually haven't seen Hereditary. That's one of the biggest modern horror films I've never seen. So I can't speak to that. And I'm sure it's great.
I wanted to say something, but YouTube will get really pissed at me.
But I have seen Midsummer and I have seen Beau is Afraid, and I love both of them. So
sorry, it was an Instagram reel.
Was that Gwen Stefani?
No, that was was it Super Mario Brothers?
Oh, dude, Nintendo's gonna fucking kill us. All right, anyways, yeah, that I don't agree with Midsummer. I love that movie. I don't think it's like a masterpiece, but I still love it. Talk to Me, I agree with.
You know what? What is it about Midsummer that just gets you going? Like, what is it about Midsummer that makes you like seriously? Like, I need to know because I just don't freaking get it.
Okay.
Oh, I don't give me the bullshit about the whole movie. She was looking for somewhere she belonged and she finally found it. That's a fuck you. Shut up.
No. I'll give you some points though. So, Midsummer, when I first got back into horror, right after I graduated in 2019, I was just watching a bunch of horror movies that were both coming out and classics I had never seen. And I remember Midsummer, I had rented it from Redbox, and I was like, "Oh, what's this? I've never heard of this." And then I watched it, and I was like, I had never really seen a folk horror movie like that before, and I really dug it. And then as the years progressed, and I finally saw the original Wicker Man, I'm like, "Oh, this is kind of a love letter to that," which I love Wicker Man. I think it's better than Midsummer, but still.
What about Nick Cage's Wicker Man? You like Nick Cage's?
I grew up with it, so I kind of do have love for that movie.
I like it.
Yeah, it's fun. He punches a bear woman, I think.
That's right.
Or no, he's a bear and then he punches a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it right, dude.
Midsummer's got cool kills. There's some cool shots.
I like
Cinematography's beautiful.
the unaliving off the cliff. That was pretty
Yeah,
cool. I was like,
that was
oh,
fire.
dude, sick. But that
The
was the
ending's
highlight of the movie. I don't really agree with the whole like, let's get this guy drugged and R-word him. Just not really my style.
That's pretty awful, but I did laugh when the old woman pushed his butt cheeks. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm a child. But all right. Let me hit you with one back.
Slap me right in the face with your hot meat stick of truth.
I'm trying to decide from my list if I want to say one that's gonna make Nick mad.
No, do it. Do it. I'm on one.
Do it.
You need to piss me off. You need to bring me down a little bit.
All right, this could ruin your night. I'm not sure, but Jeepers Creepers 2001.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
I had a feeling that'd make you. Yeah, I had a feeling that.
Yeah.
Make you a little
You're
bit
cute. You're
mad.
cute. You're cute.
So
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers, buddy.
Mm.
I don't hate it, but when
No.
people say it's one of the best horror movies of the 2000s, I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
The beginning scene is cool. The underground shit, that's all cool. But the movie's just kind of like, it's like a dumb, fun monster movie, dude. I don't know. Like, it's like a 3-star movie for me. Like, I watched it. I loved it as a kid, and then I rewatched it this past summer, and I'm like, I don't really get it.
You don't really get it. All right. First of
don't.
all, guys, listen to everybody that is just waiting for me to knock some sense into Jaden. Jeepers Creepers is unequivocally one of the best horror movies of the last 25 years. That's just a fact. You argue with a wall, Jaden. Just go to the wall, argue with it, because that movie works on so many damn levels. Gina Phillips and Justin Long are great. Their camaraderie is great. The location, Jonathan Breck is the creeper. The way the creeper looks, that scared the shit out of me when I saw that as a child, because I was like, bro, what if one day I'm on the highway and there's a truck behind me and it's just some like prehistoric demon? Like, I don't know, dude. I can't tell you the anxiety I had when he was like, I'm going to look down this pipe. Like, I'm like, don't do it, Mo. Like, And every time he falls down there, I'm like, oh my God, what would I do in this situation? I'd probably just die. Like, I'd probably just be like, I'm dead. Like, this is, dude, Jeepers Creepers friggin' rules. And it doesn't turn into like a creature feature monster movie until like the last act. But the first hour of this movie is genuinely suspenseful. Like, there's just something about it. And also, I don't even know what else to say, Jaden. I really don't. Like, and look, if any of you guys are like anti Jeepers Creepers because of Victor Salva, I get it. Victor Salva sucks butthole. Like, he's a terrible person. I hope I gotta watch what I say. I want him to play hide and seek in the highway, like on the highway. Like, it's just, the movie is great. It's freaking great. And it's a shame that the franchise never saw its potential, because like the second one is fun. Don't get me wrong. It's a fun movie. I enjoy the second one. But like after that, oh God, gutter trash, awful, genuinely terrible. Jeepers Creepers 3 is a cinematic abortion. And then Jeepers Creepers Reborn, it is too, but like it knows it is. So it's like, dude, we fucking suck, don't we? And it's like, yes, you suck, but like, you suck. Whereas Jeepers Creepers 3 was like, no, we're high art. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
But anyway, God, shut your face.
All right, Nick. Payback time. Go ahead. You got one that'll piss me off?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, man. I don't go into these things trying to make you mad. Like I'm not a dick. Like I like to think I'm a pretty nice guy.
Yeah. Okay.
I am. I also don't know, like, of what classics you like or don't like. But you know what? Let's just say it. Did we? Wait, we haven't done this. The last one we did was Underrated, right?
Correct.
All right, Jaden, let's just say it with our chests right now, me and you together. It's a movie that came out in 1980. You already know what movie it is.
Oh.
So we're just going to say it. Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Yep. It is, guys. I'm sorry. You might love it. But it's so atmospheric. And look, all that, whatever, that's fine. Take it, run with it, have fun with it. But Friday the 13th didn't hit its stride till part 2. And it's just a fact. The first movie, I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. I'm never gonna be like, dude, this movie sucks. But like, come on. You start your franchise out like, dude, Nightmare and Halloween are so much better than the original Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Like, so much better. This movie is vastly overrated.
It is. Friday the 13th, I think, was saved by the performance of Mrs. Voorhees, Sean S. Cunningham being great at marketing stuff, and the time in which it came out. Because if you look at any of those like one-off early 80s slashers that come after Friday the 13th, they're almost all better, at least the major ones. Like the first Friday the 13th is the most mid slasher flick I've ever seen in my entire life. And if that had come out in 1983 and it was called like Poop Shit Massacre and you had told me that, I would have believed you.
I'd watch it.
I'd still watch it. Yeah. But
Poop Shit Massacre, bro.
it's like a
The killer freezes turds and then uses the turd to stabs people with them.
His icicles, poopsicles.
The funny thing about this, Jaden, is that you're going to be the one that gets shit in the comments for this take, not me.
Oh, yeah.
We're both saying it. They're going to be like, Jaden's so fucking dumb.
Yeah. I'm here for it, dude. But nah, man, it's like a bad giallo ripoff through most of it. The kills suck. I mean, I don't think animal violence necessarily makes a movie automatically bad, but a snake does die in it. That kind of sucks. The movie's just really boring until those last 10 minutes. And even then you could kind of say they're overdrawn a bit. Like there's a lot of recycling the same things within that final climactic fight. But yeah, Jason saved that franchise for sure.
He did. Yeah, 100%. But again, I know that there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of reverence for that movie. And I get it. You know what? Whatever. I get it. I'm not going to poop on you unless you want me to. But yeah. Jaden, you go.
All right. So, all right, I'll hit you with this one. This is a mid-'80s one. It's a Stephen King
you didn't
adaptation.
even see what I was doing. You didn't even see what I was just doing.
No, I didn't. I don't know if I wanted to see.
I was hitting with the.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So mid-'80s Stephen King adaptation, Children of the Corn. I think Children of the Corn, the love for this movie has to be childhood nostalgia because I've never gotten it. I think it is like one of the most white toast, outside of the opening scene, it's one of the most white toast horror films of the 80s. I never got it, dude. It was never my shit.
I just took a selfie. Look, you're right, man. I grew up on this movie because my mom would be like, Malachi. I've always told stories about how my mom was just fucking weird and she would like say stuff from like horror movies that she liked. And so I think I was blinded by that growing up. Like, oh yeah, dude, Children of the Corn. Like, it's Children of the Corn. Then I got older and I went back and watched it and I was like, it's not terrible. Like, but like, it's not very good. And that sucks because the one Stephen King property that got the most friggin' adaptations, they just don't stop coming. Give me more out of the world of The Shining. Like, give me sequels to Doctor Sleep. Why are we getting Children of the Corn movies? What? Like, no. Yeah. Stop it. Stop. I agree.
Yeah, it's my mom was kind of the same way. Like she grew up with Children of the Corn, so she was always like, "Oh, you have to watch Children of the Corn. It's like the best horror movie ever." And then we watched it together, and she said it to me after. She's like, "This is kind of boring." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Does your mom do drugs?
Well, she was a child of the 80s. They all like that shit. But not drugs. Children of the Corn.
Both.
They could have, yeah, it was the 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, if you guys want us to cover Children of the Corn eventually, comment below. I'm kind of curious. You would never do it? You would never do it.
No, really? Christian and I already said that with You Need It Too. Never do it.
Damn.
I will not do it. The later sequels that I haven't seen, I will not sit through. I'm 30 years old, Jaden. I do not have the desire nor the time left on this earth to sacrifice hours to dog shit. I won't do it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. And plus, if we did it, like 5 people would watch. Like
that was my point. Is that I think maybe 2 comments and one of them will be Saturn Video would actually want to see that.
Mark would be like, "Fuck yeah, dude!"
Yeah, dude, Children of the Corn 7. That's my favorite. All right.
Oh, Mark, you're the man, dude.
I know.
I
love
can
that.
always
That's great.
rely on Mark to watch. No matter what we're covering, Mark's gonna be here.
Good dude.
Appreciate you, homie.
All right. So I said my piece about that. You said yours. What's your next one, Nick? We have another big one that we agree on, but let's save that for the last one.
Goodness gracious.
If you need time to think, I could hit you with another one. Just let me know.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know what the big one is.
Yeah.
We'll wait till the end. Yeah.
No, yeah,
hit
we
me
gotta
with
save
hit
that
me
one.
with another one because I was about to say that one.
No. We gotta save that
we
one.
gotta wait till the end so people have already watched most of it and then they crash out at the end. I don't want them to crash out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hit you with one that I know you agree with, but 2014's The Babadook.
Oh,
This movie is seen as like one of the greatest horror films of the past 20 years.
that's what I want to do to the Babadook, bro.
I just think it's like pretentious, annoying ass. Like I don't know, dude. I was watching it. I'm like, this is not good. The kid's really annoying. Like I get the mom's a good actress, but like other than that, like it's not very scary. The monster didn't interest me that much. I don't know, man. Very whatever movie to me. I never got why people love this so much.
Okay. Jaden, you already know I hate this movie.
Yeah.
You said something there that I found really interesting. You spoke about the monster. What monster? There's no fucking monster. It's all allegory. It's all metaphors and symbolism. Dude, fuck you. Okay? No, I'm going to get on my soapbox here for a second.
Go for it.
This is bullshit. Okay? I'm all about movies having a hidden message. I'm all about movies having you can find hidden symbolism, or maybe it is just right out on Front Street. That's fine. When your entire movie is that, yet you are selling it like it's a monster movie, all that screams to me is film school douchebag. Like, that's it. That's it. Like, I'm sorry. It pisses me off, man. It really makes me mad because I spend an hour and a half to 2 hours watching movies sometimes just for you to pull the rug out from under me at the very end and tell me that nothing that I saw was what I actually thought it was.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude. Like, seriously, sit and spin like on the biggest tentacle dildo. Like, dude, it makes me mad. The Babadook sucks balls, terrible. Kill it with fire. Just burn that bitch.
They're gonna think we hate Australians. We put 2 of like the top Australian horror movies on here. All right. Did you have time to think of one?
I mean, I've always got time. I'm jerked up now. I'm all jerked off about the freaking Babadook. Okay, so another one that I find overrated that a lot of people love. Oh, man, I really want to do the one, but I'm gonna wait. But I really want to do the one.
We gotta edge him, buddy.
Oh yeah, you guys are gonna edge so hard. Okay, you're not gonna agree with this one. I've said this one before. Halloween 4. Even to a casual Halloween. No, you know what? No, Jaden. No. I've said that. I've stood on that soapbox before. Halloween 2018. And the reason I say 2018 over 4 is because 4 is a little more niche, like for horror fans and Halloween fans, whereas pretty much everyone knows about 2018. It's the highest grossing slasher movie ever. So like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I saw that movie. It's pretty good. Dude, that movie is overrated with a capital O. Okay, H2O did it way better. It did it first. It didn't erase Halloween 2 out of continuity. Yeah. I'm sorry. 2018. I know a lot of Gen Zers too. Gen Z, yeah, Jaden's generation. Like, but I loved it. I saw it in theaters. It was my first Halloween movie in theaters. Yeah. Well, guess what? You could have seen a way better one 9 years before that. But we won't address that. Regardless, it's overrated, man. It really is overrated. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but for me, it's the weakest of the trilogy, bar none. Not even a question. And I just, yeah, no, I think it's overrated.
So I agree, but I think I like the movie better than you do. But I do agree. I think it's overrated. There's a lot of things in that movie that I would change that I didn't like. Dr. Sartain is fucking dumb and such a terrible character, and everything involving him is so stupid.
Oh my, no. Okay, guys, you may have already seen it by now, but I'm doing a video piggybacking off of why you're wrong about Halloween 5, and it's Halloween H2O is better than Halloween 2018. And in the video, I even said Sartain was a ripoff Loomis, and then they were like, but wait, what if we were like, oh, just kidding, no, he's not, we're gonna have this twist, and it's like the cringiest twist in the Halloween franchise. When he puts on Michael's mask in the theater, I wanted to die. I wanted to die. I was in the theater and I was like, no. Yeah.
There's that, and there's the random like padding kind of where she's running through the forest, Allison. Yeah, and it's like, I don't know if they just wanted to be stylish.
She fucking screams at a mannequin.
It's so stupid. Her and the boyfriend have a weird dynamic that kind of like I never got, especially with what happened in Halloween Kills. I don't know. 2018 doesn't age the best, but
no, they hit their stride. They hit their stride though. Like it was their first crack at it. David Gordon Green's first crack at horror. He hit his stride. I think every movie he's made since then has been better. Even Exorcist Believer. Yeah, I said that. I would take that over 2018. Oh yeah. 100%.
Really? That's insane.
Okay, say you hate Exorcist Believer all you want. Not you, but like in general.
Yeah.
But there's something Exorcist Believer does really well, and I think it's in the character department. Like, aside from Ellen Burstyn, because like, why is she even here? But like Leslie Odom Jr., like the dad, dude, he's awesome in that movie. Like, I love his arc. I love the way he's written. The little girls too. Like, I really like that story. Aside from the Ellen Burstyn shit that just didn't need to happen, I actually think that's a solid story. I really do. I think every horror movie he's been made since 2018 has been better.
Yeah. Okay. I don't agree, but I mostly agree. But the one that I'm going to say is actually directly related to what you're talking about. My next one was going to be Halloween H2O.
Oh, overrated.
So overrated, yes. This is a movie that everybody, when I was growing up in the 2000s, and you can probably attest to this, everyone is like, oh, this is one of the best Halloween sequels. Like, this is like everybody was nutting over Halloween H2O. But now when I watch it, I see a Scream ripoff with the single worst Michael Myers ever put to film. I don't care what you say. That is the worst performance, even over Resurrection. That's the worst mask. That mask is like Stan Helsing, scary movie level, Hellraiser Revelations level ass. It's so bad. It's brutal, dude. It's like some skinny twink trying to be Michael Myers, and he runs through the movie, and he doesn't do anything like Michael. And the film around it is just kind of a whatever 90s teen slasher. So it's like besides Jamie Lee,
but I think, okay, so here's my thing. Years ago, I probably would have agreed with you. And then 2018 came out, and I started to look back on H2O a little bit more fondly. And I had a weird relationship with that because as a kid, I loved H2O. And I would have been one of the ones that said, oh, this is one of the best sequels. And as I got older and I got more into, like, I warmed up on 6 and stuff. And then Rob Zombie's movies came out and stuff. I was like, I don't think it's one of the best sequels, actually. And then 2018 came out, and I was like, you know what? I'll meet you halfway here, Jaden. It's not one of the best sequels, in my opinion. Absolutely not. There's too much about it that is either unoriginal or unimaginative. And I totally agree. However, in the character department, just specifically with Laurie and even Josh Hartnett. I think he's really good in the movie. I think, and in the anniversary aspect, it's actually there in this movie. Whereas 2018, it just doesn't even feel like it's there. Like it really doesn't. Like it's, and again, and I said this in the video that I'm doing right now, but it was just like, that's not necessarily 2018's fault. They can't help that H2O already happened. But as a viewer, I have to take that into account. And it just doesn't feel as important as it should because I've already seen it. So I will agree with you that if someone says it's one of the best sequels, I can't get behind that. I cannot do that. But I'm not harsh on this movie. I like H2O. I think the thing that H2O needed to do was to sell the Laurie and Michael face off again after 20 years. And I think it does it. Like, I think it sold that in spades. One of the best sequences in the entire franchise is when she's walking around the campus yelling Michael. Like, it's one of the best sequences in the series, bar none, in my opinion. The music is blaring, and you're doing these overhead shots of Jamie Lee. You can see her, like her silhouette casting on the ground. She's got an axe in her hand. She's just screaming like, Michael. I'm like, dude, this is the shit. Like, love that sequence. But yeah. I see where you're coming from, I guess.
I think it's those two movies are like you take bits and pieces of them and you have one very good Halloween movie because the Michael in Halloween 2018 is incredible. The Michael in Halloween H2O is awful. The Laurie in 2018 is pretty bad.
The supporting characters are much better in H2O than they are in 2018 as well.
Besides the officer, Hawkins. I like him.
Yes, but aside from that, I think
everybody else for sure. Yeah. All right.
Oh, okay. I got one.
Okay, go ahead.
I got one. So this is weird, man. I've never loved this movie. I never have. I respect it. I appreciate it. I don't think it's bad. This thing gets put on the level of The Exorcist sometimes for people, and I'll just never get that. The Omen. I said it last year when the first Omen came out. I think the first Omen is the best Omen film. I even think Damien Omen 2 is, I would actually probably take that over the Omen. Like, I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewatch it. It's been years, but I remember really liking that one. The Omen, it just doesn't, or some about it. And I try to be fair with these because they're older movies, and it's not like an older movie thing because I love The Exorcist. I love Halloween. I love Jaws, all from the same era. I love Psycho. So like, it's not an older movies thing. I just feel like some older movies age far worse than other older movies. And The Omen is one of them for me. I just find the movie to be largely boring. Not scary at all. It didn't scare me when I was a kid. The only scene in that movie that stuck with me at all was "It's all for you, Damien," when she like hangs herself. That was it.
That's pretty great.
That was it, though. That was the only thing in that movie. So I think it's overrated, Jaden. I do.
I got to disagree with you on this one. I see where you're coming from, though, and I can acknowledge that. Personally, I love The Omen. It just hit all the boxes for me. I don't think I like it more than The Exorcist, but I think there are scenes in it that I like better than ones in The Exorcist. But that's fair. That's a fair one. Was Omen 76? If I'm correct about that, I think.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to hit you with another one from 76. Now, I don't know if you've seen this movie, but mine is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. So I went into this movie seeing that incredible poster and thinking this was going to be like an awesome proto-slasher with like a version of Jason from Friday 2, like way before that. It's a weird true crime movie that's extremely boring and poorly acted, and it's like borderline not horror. And I think it's a fucking slog. I think it's rough to get through, and I think the remake is way better, even though it's more of that slasher and it's more like exploitation. Like there's a lot of like goofy shit in that. There's a lot of sex. There's a lot of all that in the remake, but I just think it's fun, whereas the original is like bored me to tears, dude.
Yeah, so I haven't watched The Town That Dreaded Sundown since I was like 13 or 14. I never saw the remake, so I can't speak to that. I was not a fan. I can tell you that. Like, I can tell you that it was not a movie that I was like, oh my God, I gotta buy this on 4K and watch it every year. No, no, I don't remember it really standing out. So I'll take your word for it on that one, because I feel like if I had stronger feelings after my viewing of that thing, I would be like, no, Jaden, you're wrong. Because usually when I watch a movie and I really like it, it normally goes in a semi regular rotation for me. And that was not one of those movies. So yeah, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that. I don't, you won't get pushback from me.
All right.
All right. Let me go with an OG here.
Okay.
Let's do a twofer. Let's do a twofer. Same director, same era. And both movies, I think the remake of each movie is superior to the original. And that would be The Hills Have Eyes and The Last House on the Left. I think I think The Last House on the Left, I think, is rough. The original, it's rough. I vastly prefer that remake. Still difficult movie. Anything that those R-word revenge movies, they're hard for me to watch, man. I get the point is to shock, but like, it's still like, I don't need these elongated. It's just, I don't know. So it's not I do own the remake of Last House on the Left because I think it's a very good movie. I just don't watch it a lot because of the content.
Right.
But and then The Hills Have Eyes. Oh man, I think most people agree that remake's better. Like Wes Craven probably would. Well, I don't know. He was kind of egotistical, so maybe he wouldn't have. But and again, this goes back to my point about like, oh well, it's an older movie. But again, I don't think that necessarily is the reason why. I just think that they were kind of shoddily made. You know, I just don't think there's anything special about them, and I think the remakes improved on both.
So, yeah, I have a lot to say about what you were talking about. First, I just want to touch upon Wes Craven for a second. Obviously, one of the greatest horror filmmakers of all time, made some iconic movies and franchises. But I think when you look at a lot of the major horror directors, he has more misses than maybe anybody. He's got some pretty bad films. Pretty bad. Like more than Argento, more than Carpenter, more than Romero, whatever. As for these two movies, I'll start with The Hills Have Eyes. I actually do really like the original, but I agree that the remake is much better. But I do find that original charming, and I think there's some cool elements to it. Last House on the Left, though, I don't fuck with that movie. I think it's kind of lame. The humor is very bizarre.
Wait, the original or the remake?
The original.
Okay.
The humor in it's very bizarre for that kind of movie, and I get Wes Craven's got a weird sick sense of humor, but I just didn't think it was the right place for that in the way that they did it. I don't like movies where the revenge doesn't come from the victim and it comes from like an associate of the victim or somebody else. Like I find that kind of gross.
I think it makes more sense in the remake though, because she's incapacitated. Like she almost died.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I get its historical importance for like exploitation films and horror and specifically that subgenre, but there's much better R revenge movies, even ones that like meant to like mimic that. Like I'm sure you haven't seen it, but Late Night Trains, it's an Italian horror film, 75. It's literally just that movie, but better, and it's on a train. So I think that movie is kind of whatever. So,
it's like
I agree.
And again, I'm not a big fan of that subgenre, as we just talked about. But you know, a movie that I think does it way better than the original Last House on the Left would be I Spit on Your Grave, and because the revenge she gets on those dudes is glorious. I mean, it is glorious. But let me tell you guys something. I'll never watch I Spit on Your Grave again because the assault scene is like, we didn't have to do all this. Like this is too much, man. Like it makes me wonder what that director was thinking. Like, what's the director like? Oh yeah, like this just I'm not cool with that. But her revenge is, dude, it's glorious. That's a movie that does that subgenre way better than the original Last House on the Left.
Yeah. I just want to ask you a question before I move on to mine. talking about this subgenre, which I don't feel like we talk about very much. But have you seen
For good
Mother's Day,
reason.
the original from 1980?
No, I don't think so.
That's one I'd check out. It's a trauma movie. It's very goofy, but I think it does it in not a super offensive way. So Mother's
See,
Day, I recommend.
I've always been consistent with this stuff too, Jaden. It's like Rob Zombie's Halloween, the director's cut. I love Rob Zombie, but that scene is wholly unnecessary. Like it has no use being in that movie. It's gross. Like it's gross. It's if you're gonna do that in a movie, heavily allude to it.
Right.
You know, but like, yeah, I'm just never gonna be able to fuck with that kind of stuff. Not my cup of tea.
So mine is gonna bounce right off of this topic, just like Nick bounces on that dick. But we're gonna be talking about, at least I'm gonna be talking about one that I know Nick's not gonna agree with. It's gonna make a lot of people angry. 2005's The Devil's Rejects. So this movie, when I watched it, just kind of felt like miserable scene after miserable scene of seeing these people do awful things to people, and there's no revenge aspect, which I just think it takes a lot of the charm out of that original House of a Thousand Corpses movie, like out. Like they do terrible things in that, and the villains do win, but it's a fun movie. This one is just people it's a road movie where they do terrible things and there's no fun to it. That's what I like about House of a Thousand Corpses. I think there's a fun element that keeps some sort of levity to the horrible shit that's happening. I just don't think this movie is that. And I know that's probably not what Rob Zombie was even going for, but it's just not something I vibe with personally.
Yeah, so here's the thing about that. You're not wrong at all. I will never say that House of a Thousand Corpses is objectively a better film than Devil's Rejects, because it's not. Devil's Rejects is a far better, no, I wouldn't even say far, but technically it's a much tighter film. Narratively, visually, Rob was really finding his stride. However, I much prefer the style of House of a Thousand Corpses because it's shot like a music video. It plays out like a music video. It's so rock and roll. Like that movie is super fun. Certain parts of it make no sense. Like, this is hell. Like there are moments where you're just like, what is going on? But you just love it. Like that's one of my go-to comfort movies. I love that movie. I'm actually not going to disagree with you here largely because I love Rob Zombie. But I would take Lords of Salem, I would take Halloween 2, and I would take House of a Thousand Corpses over Devil's Rejects. I really would.
Me too.
I think that the Devil's Rejects, like I said, man, it's a road movie. It's very, very much at times like an old school Western too. Like, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of mixed genres going on in there. Rob was he was in his bag with that movie. I'll give him credit. But it's just not what I wanted from the Firefly family at the end of the day, I think. I kind of wanted to keep that vibe of House. It's a good movie, though. It is a very good movie. It's not a bad movie at all. If someone says it's their favorite Rob Zombie movie or it's his best movie, I mean, I'm always going to have trouble with that because of Halloween 2, but I'll hear you. I will, but I will always say that I think objectively his best film, story-wise, acting-wise, is Halloween 2. I think that movie is his best movie. And I think a lot of people won't even allow themselves to see that or like pontificate if that's the case because they're like, it sucks. That's not my Michael Myers. Like they won't even allow themselves to see the merit in that movie. That's fine. Lords of Salem was almost there. If they had nailed that ending, that'd probably be his best movie. Just, but the ending really goes off the rails. And it's like, whoa, what the fuck's going on, dude? All right. I'm done with the Rob Zombie talk.
Yeah, no problem. You got one for me?
Okay. So, all right.
Okay.
I got to do this. We haven't talked about this franchise yet. it's important for me to mention that I personally think Dream Warriors is a little overrated. And hear me out here. Yeah, it's definitely one of the better Nightmare movies. It's not even a question. It is. It's not that hard when you have like Freddy's Dead in there and Dream Child, great imagery, great ideas, not fleshed out enough. But I just feel like I don't know. I like Dream Master more. I like Freddy's Revenge more. And part of me wonders if I think Dream Warriors got the notoriety it did because I think it was similar to like Halloween 2018. It was a moment in time, like in pop culture, like the Dawkins song. Freddy was on top of the world. I think it was a perfect storm to where it's like when people think back to A Nightmare on Elm Street, people like my mom's age that were 20 when that movie came out and they saw it in theaters, like that's the Nightmare movie they remember. Like that's the one. But for me, it's just like, I don't know. It's really good. I'm again, like, I don't want people to misinterpret this as me saying that I don't like Dream Warriors. I do. I just think that the takes that it is like objectively the best. I don't agree with that. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, objectively the best. I don't know if I can really say that for the Nightmare franchise, but I don't know, man. I disagree pretty hard here. I think Dream Warriors is all that. I think it's all that people hype it up to be honest. It's top 3. I don't know if it's my favorite or not. I do think it's better than the original. I don't know if that's a hot take, but it's Nightmare 2 that I have the qualm with. I don't know if there's a movie in that franchise that I consider overrated because those first 3 are pretty great and New Nightmare is pretty great, and then the other ones people don't seem to give a fuck about. But you like Nightmare 4, and I don't know how many people love Nightmare 4 as much as you do, but I don't super care for that movie, to be honest with you. But we'll do a Nightmare episode, and I'll get into why later, but I'll just say that for now.
All right, give me your next one then, you friggin' clown.
All right, so this one's gonna, Nick's heard this one and it pissed him off the first time. Evil Dead 2013. This is my least favorite feature-length Evil Dead movie.
Go ahead. Keep going on your diatribe.
All right. Let me hit you with this. So there are good elements about this. The gore is pretty great, but I think all the characters are, besides maybe the main girl who's a drug addict, but all the other characters I find pretty forgettable.
Main girl? What's her name?
I don't remember.
You sick son of a bitch.
I don't remember. I'm sorry. I didn't care about any of the characters, including her, but I do think she's the best of them all. Mia. I don't know, man. I think it copies a lot, and it's not a straight remake like people think it is, but it copies a lot from the original, but I don't think it has that 80s charm, and I don't think you have as strong of a lead in it, so I just didn't find it as interesting character-wise. I think Evil Dead Rise has better characters. I think the setting in Evil Dead Rise is better because it's unique to the series, whereas Evil Dead 2013, we had seen it like a million times by that point. The gore in both of them, I can give that to Evil Dead 2013 for sure, but gore is not enough to make it my favorite Evil Dead movie, and it didn't have that 80s charm like those original ones, so it kind of just falls at the bottom for me. But it's not bad, though. I'm not going to say that. It's just my least favorite, and I think people will strongly disagree with that. But
yeah, I'm gonna strongly disagree with that. Man, I know the point isn't for us to argue about, individual takes. It's just to put them out there for the audience to argue. But I feel like I'm the voice of the audience sometimes with the take like this, because Jaden, sweetheart, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? There's one Evil Dead movie better than Evil Dead 2013, and it's Evil Dead 2. Like it, I mean, there's days where I don't even know if that's the case. Evil Dead 2013 did the only thing it could do to keep that franchise alive. It had to adapt or die. Because if you had released a zany black comedy Evil Dead movie in 2013 and the rise of the remakes and it wouldn't have worked. People wouldn't have taken it seriously. It would have flopped. Like they did what they had to do, and I think they did it so perfectly. Yeah, you talk about the characters. Of course, nobody gives a shit about the characters in that movie except Mia and Lou Taylor Pucci's character because he's a dumbass and
He's awful.
he brings everything upon them. And
Yes.
but it's kind of funny because you can tell like the filmmaker, like Fede knew because like he gets put through hell like
Yeah.
before he finally dies. You're always like, this guy's dead now. Nope, he's still alive somehow, just so he can get tortured more, and he deserved it. Nah, man, I'm sorry, but that abomination at the end, that's another thing. I like Evil Dead Rise. They fumbled the bag with the end. We don't even get to see like the abomination in that movie. Like it's just like, whereas in Evil Dead, oh god, I love the abomination. I love the abomination in Evil Dead 2013. It is so fucking awesome. I'll swallow your soul. Like, that movie's so fucking good, dude. So good. Hey, I hate you. I hate you.
All right. Do you have a hot one? Do you have one you think people are gonna get pissed off about?
I've gotten compliments about it before. I don't know if you'd call it hot, you know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Take.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of because like I could say like little ones here and there that really aren't that popular, but I'm trying to
I
think
have a
of
couple of those. Think of a modern one. What's a modern one people really love that you don't vibe with?
Megan.
I was thinking Megan, but I feel like the many people
Megan's
that
definitely one of them. Megan is no thanks.
I had Smile on mine.
I'm torn, man. I'm torn because the first one I agree with, but
No,
I think
first one.
the second one is actually a really damn good movie.
Second one's fucking awesome, dude.
All right, so
No,
then go into a diatribe about Smile then. What is it about Smile?
Smile's not a bad horror film, but it feels like a slightly bigger budget, better effect version of like a Countdown or a Truth or Dare. It just it's a very whatever, like it feels like a PG-13 film to me, like horror film, because it's so basic jump scare horror, which I'm not a fan of. The story's kind of just like, oh, everybody thinks this lady's crazy, which is so many horror movies, and I don't find that interesting. Whereas I feel like Smile 2 just put a really cool twist on that we had never seen before. The monster at the end is, cool looking, even if at first it's just one of those tall, naked, skinny, pale woman, which is like in every horror film now. It does turn cool, but Smile is just whatever, man. I gave it like 2.5 or 3 stars. I just think it's like, that's something you would show to like a non-horror fan that just wants like a popcorn movie. And yeah, I don't find it interesting.
Yeah, I largely agree. I mean, I think that Smile is a really safe movie. Like, I don't
Yes.
know. The marketing for that movie, the fact that that movie took off the way it did always shocked me because I was just like, what is it about this movie? Because like,
Mhm.
I saw it in theaters and I just remember being like, okay, like,
Yeah.
so like that was fine, I guess. But like, I wasn't in love with it. And that's why I didn't go see the second one because I was like, I mean, I wasn't super keen on the premise and we're just going to run it back. Like, I was like, I don't know. The second one is a lot better.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think that one is largely overrated for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say it set it had a good setting for a franchise. Like Smile 2, awesome sequel, and Smile 3 could be great. They could go full on apocalyptic with it after
Dude,
that
the
ending.
way that second one ended, possibilities are endless.
Yeah, it's great. They were so smart doing that. You want to touch on Megan for a sec? You did mention that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not fair because as I've said before, I know that I'm not the target audience for Megan. So like
Mhm.
Megan wasn't a movie made for me. You know, a 30-year-old dude. Like, that's not to say that 30-year-old men can't find enjoyment in Megan. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that movie was definitely geared toward like Gen Z.
Mhm.
I don't have TikTok. I don't like. That's just like I wasn't the target audience, so I feel sometimes I really do feel bad, like talking about how I don't like the movie because like I don't want to take that away from anybody, but it's just I honestly thought that Child's Play 2019 did the AI doll thing better.
Yep.
I thought it was funnier. I thought it was more enjoyable. It was actually R-rated, so it didn't really hold back. The kills are way better in Child's Play 2019 because I don't know, it's rated R.
Yep.
Yeah, Megan's just too teeny boppy for me, just too trendy. Like, and it just wasn't funny. It didn't really entertain me. Like, I was genuinely like, oh my God, bro. Like, I
It's not funny.
cringed. I was
It's very
cringing.
cringy.
Yeah, so not for me, man.
So I want to hit you with another 2020s film that kind of gave me the same vibes as Megan in a way, but 2021's Malignant. This is a movie that people really fuck with. I think it's going to become a cult classic. It definitely has that vibe like already because it didn't succeed at the box office. It's very goofy and you can tell it has its inspirations in 80s cult classics and people are already, whatever. I found it dumb, dude. Like I went into Malignant in the first like quarter or a third of the movie. It looks like it's setting up to be just a really creepy, like scary, unique take on a horror film. And I will say that it is sort of unique, but at the same time, it's just kind of a goofy 2020s basket case ripoff at times. And I don't think it has as much charm as that. I don't know, dude. I didn't like Malignant that much. Do you have any opinions on this movie? I can't remember.
So Malignant was a movie that kind of caught me by surprise because I don't know if you remember the trailers for that movie made it look like it was going to be like trippy, like supernatural, and it was James Wan.
Yeah, like
So,
serious.
Yeah, that's what you thought. That's what you were expecting. It was not that at all. It was really James Wan doing like an action slasher, which was like, what?
Yeah.
I loved Malignant.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, you say it actually really isn't that overrated, man, because when that movie came out, the internet was very split on it. Like I remember that. It was very split. But it wasn't, panned or whatever. So fair, but I really liked Malignant. I thought it was interesting to see James Wan kind of flex his muscles a little bit and do something different. And I mean, talking about James Wan can get, we could go down a rabbit hole there because I really hate how the guy just doesn't do horror anymore. But I liked Malignant. I did. But it's not really, if anybody hasn't seen Malignant, like it's not really a straight up horror movie. So like temper your expectations going into it because it's not going to be what you're expecting from a James Wan movie. When you think about James Wan, you're probably thinking about like The Conjuring, Insidious, Dead Silence, stuff like that. It's not in that vein at all. So
It's very goofy.
Yeah. It's mainly an action movie. Like it's kind of an action movie, but I liked it.
I think that's why I came away not liking it is because I expected that from James Wan. And I got this goof. It's like the substance, right? Where I feel like the first 90% of that movie is super serious and there are goofy elements, but it's like mostly serious. And then the ending is just batshit crazy. I don't love the ending of that movie. But anyways, I still think the substance is great. I'm not putting it on the list, but yeah. Let me hit you with another one though. So this one is kind of like a 90s cult classic. I watched it last year and I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. I just thought it was very mid. But 1996 The Craft. This seems like a movie that you might love.
Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell. Also Billy from Scream too. I think he's in it. But anyways,
Skeet?
I don't know. Yeah, Skeet Ulrich. I
Yeah.
think he's in that. I was expecting a lot more with that, man. People talk that shit up, but I just like it's kind of just like a boring teen drama, and the ending isn't super interesting to me. I don't think the villain's particularly great. The horror in it isn't actually. There really isn't much horror in it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I haven't watched that movie in so long. And that says all it needs to say. That movie was very much a product of its time. And that's not to say that movies around that time couldn't have been good because hello, like The Faculty, like and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like there's definitely movies from that time that were good, but I just feel like The Craft, yeah, I feel like it lacks heavily in the horror department. Yeah, it's more of a melodrama. It's not. It's kind of boring. Like I don't know, and maybe that's just me. I'm sure there's people that love The Craft. They're gonna be like, "Oh my god, you guys suck." Like, well, maybe we do, but yeah, I largely agree with that take.
Okay. I want you to hit me with one more, and then we'll go to the big one that we're both thinking.
Okay, I really got to think about this one, Jaden.
Okay.
So I've done some recent ones. I've done some classic ones.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of some like popular franchises
Okay.
that maybe we haven't tackled yet.
Okay.
Is it the okay? So, me. I can't say. I can't say. See, I don't. There's movies in franchises that I feel like are overrated, but like the first movie isn't, or
Hmm.
I don't know. You hit me with one.
Okay. This is more niche, but people who know and like this franchise dig it. Phantasm 2. This is everybody loves Phantasm 2 seemingly more than the original somehow, which I never got because I feel like
They're right.
they're wrong. But the main characters in the original are far more interesting. The actual horror of the first one is a lot better. Phantasm 2 is just like Phantasm 2 felt like a cheesy 80s movie, like road trip movie. But I don't like that they took Phantasm in that direction because the first one is so weird and surreal and bizarre and creepy, and that's what I wanted to see. Whereas Phantasm eventually, and we'll talk about Phantasm at some point, I'm sure, but Phantasm eventually turns into the Reggie Show, and it turns into very hokey, gooey effects movies that's not what I wanted from Phantasm. I think the original set up something great. They didn't go with it.
They didn't go with it. The second movie is really when they started to get more into like comedy, action at times, sci-fi elements. The first movie was definitely more of that was like an old school mystery movie. Now the end of the first movie definitely makes like it opens up the possibilities where you're like, whoa, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
So in their defense, I think that was a natural direction to go after the first movie. You could have done like one of two things, and that was one of the directions that was probably correct to go in. And for me, it was, because Phantasm 2 is my favorite Phantasm movie. I hear what you're saying largely, but I feel like the second one retains enough of the vibe of the first one. Whereas I really think the problem with Phantasm started with 3. And I have fun with 3, but that's when you really started to see some stuff kind of get weird. And then when you get to Oblivion, it's just, I mean, you don't even really know what you're watching sometimes up to that point. And we're not even going to talk about Ravager. The only thing I can say about Ravager is that it was cool to see like Reggie and Angus Scrimm and have Don Coscarelli come back, you know, for like one final hurrah. The fact that after all these years, they did like one last one, that's a cool thing. It just sucks that the movie sucked. Like, I don't, it's really bad. But I don't know. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think the problems for me with Phantasm began until part 3. And even then, part 3 is passable. I can have fun with part 3. But Oblivion, man. Oblivion is really when it's like, bruh, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, do you like the third one?
It's okay. I mean, it's fun for what it is.
What about Oblivion?
I don't remember shit about Oblivion, dude. I watched it last year, and I can't tell you a goddamn thing about that movie. Is that the one where there's the weird freezer thing, and the original Mike comes back, and he faces?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I remember that part. And is that the one with the black girl, or is that 3?
No, that's 3.
Okay. So then I don't remember anything else about that.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's might be for the best. Like I said, I have a dumb fun time with 3, but I really can't. I'm never gonna find myself wanting to watch. Maybe like marathoning them, I'll watch 4. Dude, Ravager. I don't know if I could ever put that movie in again. I mean, like, I'm not kidding, right? Like, it's that bad.
It feels like a weird shot on video fan film.
Yeah. And it's sad to see Angus Scrimm in like his final role, like almost dead. Like, it's just like, I kind of hate that sometimes, don't you? Where it's like, I didn't need to see this. Like,
yeah.
It's what I'm worried about with Tony Todd with Final Destination. I'll be totally honest with you. Like, because like what we saw of him in the press material, he's really, you can tell he's sick. Like he had lost a lot of weight. And it's just like, it's cool to have that performance from them, but you're going to have that visual reminder of like, damn, this was like right before you died. Like, that's just, it's eerie.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sad. No, for sure. All right. We've been teasing the big one all episode.
Mm-hmm.
This is yeah. Let's get into it. Tobe Hooper's classic 1974, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Often regarded by many as the greatest horror film of all time.
Christian, and he's wrong.
He is wrong. I don't think it's the greatest Texas Chainsaw movie. And I'm not even saying that from, I think this one, like, this is my favorite. I have nostalgia. I genuinely think there are movies that are better films in this series. Yep. Better horror films, better made films, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The original Texas Chainsaw, dude, it's like, I think it might be the most overrated horror film of all time, if I'm being honest. Because I don't see it as that GOAT tier movie. I see it as a very decent proto slasher with a very cool villain and setting, and historically it's extremely important, and I will always respect it and respect Tobe Hooper. But dude, those, like, and I get slashers aren't always about the characters, but like Halloween, you give a fuck about the characters in that movie. You care about Laurie, you care about her friends, you care about the kids, you care about Loomis, you even care about Brackett. Texas Chainsaw, I don't give a fuck about any of them. Even Sally's like this horror icon, but if you watch her in the movie, she's the most bland, nothing character that does nothing. She just
does
goes
not
through hell.
she does not deserve to ever be called a horror icon. I'm sorry. I'm sorry
No,
to all you
but
Texas Chainsaw Massacre lovers.
Yeah, she is because of pop culture, but she's really just nothing, dude. She's like one of the like lamest final girls of all time because she has no arc. The character that gets the most dialogue and like the biggest character in the movie is probably Franklin. And people hate Franklin. I don't hate Franklin, but he's obnoxious. But he is the one that gets the most. Like I thought he was going to be the main character before he gets chainsawed, and then regular ass blonde girl is.
Here's the thing with this movie, Jaden. I think that a reason why people like Christian say that this is the greatest horror movie ever made, I think they take into account like how monumental the movie was, how groundbreaking in a lot of ways it was, and how historically significant it is. All of those things you can't take away from the film. However, you also have to then judge it on the merits that it presents as a film. Like, I can't take everything in the periphery around it into account, but not take the actual film into account. And I'm not saying that people don't, because they do. When they say they love the movie, they genuinely love the movie. I get it. But like narratively, there isn't much of a narrative. And that's fine. It doesn't need to have one. That doesn't make or break a good horror film. But I just think that like a lot of people look back on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think, based off of where Leatherface went and what the franchise became. They learned so much more about the family as the movies went on, about Leatherface, about the icon that he became. And I think it makes you look back on that first film with rose-colored glasses because, like you, I think at times in the movie, it's a bit shoddy. I really think that, like you said, you don't give a shit about any of the characters aside from the family. Like,
right.
And maybe that's the point. Maybe you're like, well, that's what I'm here for, the family. But even with Leatherface, I don't feel like Leatherface is the Leatherface that I know that he became in this movie. And again, you could say the same thing about Halloween with Michael Myers. That's not the Michael that he would eventually become. So it's not necessarily a critique, but I just think that like in their original form, I don't know, man. I really think that most of the admiration for this movie is because of how historically significant it is.
Yep.
I don't necessarily think it's more about the film based on its merits. I really don't. And I get it. There's going to be people that disagree with me. That's totally fine. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're wrong if you think this is the greatest horror movie of all time. If it is to you, well, then it is. That's the right answer. It's the greatest horror movie of all time to you. And we all have our reasons. Halloween's my favorite movie ever made. I don't think it's the greatest horror movie of all time. I think The Exorcist is. Like, I do. And again, Jaden, I can speak to this argument about Texas Chainsaw Massacre because I feel like part of the reason why I and a lot of people think The Exorcist is the greatest horror film of all time is its significance in pop culture, in horror history. Like the first mainstream demonic possession movie, like that, it was a big deal. It took on the Catholic Church in a lot of ways and just religion as a whole. So I'm also a victim of falling into the trap of like what's on the periphery affecting how I view a movie. But I would argue, and I know you would agree, without question, The Exorcist is a better film. Like, it's just a better film. It's a better story, better characters. Like, it's just a better film. So I don't know. I think that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a good movie. And it has a very important place in horror history. But I don't think that makes it the best horror movie ever made. I just don't.
No. I will say I think the actual horror and horrific elements in Texas Chainsaw are like kind of perfect. They're really great. It's in a very slog. Like, it's a short movie, but it feels like a slog to me every time I watch it. Like, there are very boring parts And it's because of the characters that are not interesting whatsoever. And people will tell you it's a slasher movie. You're not supposed to care about them.
I don't need to have good characters. I'm here for the
this
killer.
one you should, though.
Yeah, when you're spending 80% of the movie with these motherfuckers, like,
Yeah.
give me
And it's
something.
It's not what slashers became, where it's like a cheap, like funny, goofy little whatever the fuck, where you only care about the kills. This is like supposed to be one of the greatest horror films of all time. It's supposed to be fucked up and scary. And it's kind of hard when I don't care about any of the characters. But there are great scares. Like great scares throughout the movies. There are great shots. I think Leatherface is actually pretty fucking great in this movie. And I think the other members of the family, the hitchhiker and the chef, I think they're or the cook, I think they're both great too.
I think the cook is the best in this movie, personally.
I do too. But yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It's too boring of a movie with great elements.
Yeah.
Whereas, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, for me, man, with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think that my ideal Leatherface, and this is probably showing my age, but it's Breniarski. Like it just is. But honestly, at the same time, though, I don't think that that's exactly fair to say, oh, that's just because you grew up in that era. Because I've seen all these movies. I own all these movies. I've watched them all many times. I grew up on I used to wear the shit out of the Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 Snapper Case DVD. Okay? I used to wear that thing out. All right? I just think that, like, in his evilest form, it was the new era of Leatherface. Like, I really do. And furthermore, to the argument that we both touched on, it is true that you do not need to love your characters in a slasher movie to think a movie is good. That is an argument that will get bandied about all the time. It's a slasher movie. I don't care about the characters. I'm not supposed to care about the characters. And people will think that's a trump card to be like, haha, see, you're talking about the characters, but I don't actually need them. Well, it's actually not that simple, because a lot of slasher movies that are like that, they're not asking you to give a fuck about the characters. So, like Friday the 13th, 2009, if someone goes, I didn't really care for the characters in that movie's not trying to sell you on the characters at all. That movie is trying to be Jason Voorhees wreaking havoc. But a movie like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you spend a good 3/4 of the movie with these people. So if they're the focal point of your film, if they get the most screen time, you spend the most time with them in close quarters in a fucking van or the woods, whatever it may be. We need to give a shit about them. And I just don't think you do. Sally is so underwhelming. It is insane how underwhelming she is. I'm sure somebody's already clicked off of this video because they're like, dude, you guys, whoa. But like, bro, no, I'm sorry. I agree with you, man. I agree. And I knew this was the one. I couldn't wait to get to this one because I had a lot to say about it. I've tried to go back and forth with Christian about this. He will not see it my way at all. He will not.
Yeah. I'll be honest, like, talking about Texas Chainsaw, like the original in general, I find so interesting because I do think, even though it's not one of my favorite horror films of all time, there's a lot to talk about with that movie. So I'm going to say let's end it here and let's save it for this summer. I want to do Texas Chainsaw. At some point, I think we should do it this summer. Do a franchise overview, ranking of every film, and we can do an even bigger deep dive on the original because I feel like we both probably still have more we could talk about with this movie.
You guys want to hear? You guys hear that? Jaden wants to do it with me this summer. So
yeah, dude,
coming
I'll
your
do it
way
every day.
Brokeback Mountain 2. Yeah, no, I'm excited to do that, and I think we should cover it in August. I think that's the perfect time to do it.
Sure.
I got a lot of thoughts. You guys are gonna. I mean, you just heard Jaden and I go on for like 15 minutes about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you're like, you guys are fucking terrible. I still like the movie. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't even think it's the best movie in its own franchise, let alone the best horror movie of all time. Like, come on. The fact that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is probably, would you agree that this is the franchise I think that more people say the remake is better than the original? Not more people like as a whole. I just mean like most people's favorite remake is Texas Chainsaw 03, right? That's fair to say.
Yes. Yep.
If that's the case, I think a large swath of people would say it's not even the best in its own series. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of where I'm at with that one. And maybe, oh, they don't get it. They didn't see this movie in theaters. You didn't either, Jim. You're like 25. Shut up. Like,
Yeah.
I saw it at the Alamo Draft House last summer. Okay. Okay. Because that's the same thing. Like, get the fuck out of here. But I'm excited to talk about that. And I'm excited because I'm going to rewatch all these movies this summer.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it, dude. It's a fun franchise. Even there's some down points, but it's fun.
Just as a little teaser, a little preview. I can remember off the top of my head, I like the first one. I really like the second one. I think the second one is super fun.
Yep.
I don't remember liking the third one. I did when I was a kid, and then going back, I was like, nah, not even Ken Foree can save this dog shit. I haven't watched The Next Generation in probably 15 years. Excited to give that a rewatch. Can't wait to get to all the nipples. I remember, obviously, love the remake, love the beginning. 2013, it's fun.
Yeah.
Leatherface, it's good, but it's not a good Texas Chainsaw movie. And Texas Chainsaw 2022, so yeah, there's a little preview for me, but we'll see if that changes. The reason I just mentioned that is because I want you guys to hear this, and then like 3 months from now when we cover it, be like, oh, his opinion changed on this one, or whatever. I don't.
I got that Texas Chainsaw 2022 shirt on right now, buddy.
$12
at Hot Topic.
I do love the end credits song though in Texas Chainsaw 2022. That like dubstep of the like like it's pretty fucking awesome. I won't lie.
All right, man. We went about an hour and 20. We probably pissed off a lot of people. We had some hot takes tonight. I am very looking forward to looking at those comments. Hopefully, we'll get some more hate comments because we only got one last week, guys. We got to pump it up.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, it was Jaden's idea. So
it was my idea.
But look, guys, we appreciate y'all watching. We hope you guys liked this episode. Look, we're not going to ask you to agree with us all the time. I actually think that would be super boring if you did. Individuality is individuality is the spice of life. I think we all have different tastes, and there's things we like, there's things we don't like. I just wanted to give a perspective on some of the things that we find a little overrated and see if maybe you agree or if maybe you now hate us. But whatever it is, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check us out. Jaden runs the socials on X/Twitter because I fucking stupid ass Elon. It's Podgoblins YT, and on Instagram as well, right? Podgoblins YT.
Twitter, we actually just got Podgoblins. I was shocked that it was free, but Instagram, it's Podgoblins YT.
So there you go. Follow them. And I look forward to, it's going to be a fun few months. We're about to cover the Final Destination franchise really soon since Bloodlines is about to come out.
So
we're going to cover Texas Chainsaw this summer. We're going to just have to do it. We're going to have to go to Camp Crystal Lake in June, and we're going to do Friday the 13th.
Yes, sir.
And then I also want to do Nightmare, and we are going to save our Halloween retrospective until October. Although we're both Halloween guys, we're saving that for October. So Zeke, get out of the closet. Come out of the closet, Zeke. So we love y'all. We'll catch you on the flippity flip, and stay gooning.